Queen Elizabeth II planned for her death to occur in Scotland in order to strengthen the union, an unnamed source has claimed. The late monarch died at 3:10 p.m. on September 8, at her beloved home in Balmoral. At her bedside were her son and heir, now King Charles III, and her daughter Anne, the Princess Royal, while other members of her close family were en route to be with her. A friend of the late monarch suggested that the Queen felt her death was near and went forward with the plan to die in Scotland, serving her duty for one last time. They told the Daily Beast, "She was frail and there was an argument that she should be back in Windsor where it is significantly easier to get hospital treatment." They added, "Of course, she had access to medics at Balmoral, but nothing like at Windsor. Balmoral is very isolated, but that is where she wanted to be, precisely because she thought the end might be near. She planned to die in Scotland to save the Union." The nation's longest reigning monarch died from old age, according to her official death certificate. Her death was announced by Buckingham Palace in a statement issued at 6:30 p.m. that day, that said, "The Queen died peacefully at Balmoral this afternoon. Old age is acceptable if the doctor certifying death has cared for the patient for a long time, was not aware of any disease or injury that contributed to death and had observed a gradual decline in the person's general health and functioning." The Queen had been experiencing sporadic mobility problems during the final period of her life and used a walking stick regularly in public. First Minister of Scotland Nicola Sturgeon has insisted on a second independence referendum after the country said no to a separation in 2014. With tensions arising between the Scottish and UK government, academic and author Tom Devine claimed that the Queen's passing in Scotland was consciously done. He told the Daily Beast, "I've thought about this long and hard. I do believe it was consciously done. It wasn't just a slip. I'm fairly confident that she was advised or influenced to do it by the Cameron government. It was getting to the point where the polls were beginning to look pretty ominous." He added, "However, I wouldn't agree that she planned to die in Scotland, but in the event the Queen's final parting gift to Old Scotia, to Scotland, was to die in Scotland because that ensured massive global coverage for the nation." Daily Express political editor Sam Lister suggested that it was no surprise Her Majesty stayed at her beloved Balmoral as her health was failing. She wrote, "Ms. Sturgeon has always insisted independence from Westminster does not mean breaking away from the monarchy. Her MPs insist King Charles would be head of state for an independent Scotland. Scots will think very carefully again if asked to back independence, but it is hard to see how that position would hold if a breakaway bid is successful. The SNP's last attempt to separate was something the Queen let it be known she believed voters should think very carefully about.